It's Moon Day. You know, any episode that starts off with a room full of people in the emergency room and Melissa running around like a chicken with her head cut off trying to save everybody is going to be intense. I bet Scott thought he was going to have a relatively normal evening, just hang out with Isaac after he dropped his mom's dinner off. But no, people were getting sacrificed and targeted yet again. This time it was my sweet baby Captain Dimples. Danny got brought in with Ethan because he was like having chest pains or something, and you know he's not having a heart attack because that is a very healthy looking young man. And then he's just like sitting there wrenching and being pretty and just struggling, and then he just vomits. I'm not into vomit, and that was some creamy looking vom, and I don't know what he was eating aside from like grilled chicken garnished with mistletoe, but that can't be good. But he survived, so I'm happy. He lived, he didn't die, I'm good with that. I don't know what I would do if they killed Danny. I would be very upset. I might die myself. Marinate in that. I also want to appreciate the look of genuine concern on Ethan's face when he brought Danny in. Because even though he and his brother are using Danny and Lydia as like leverage devices, you can tell that he's starting to kind of really have feelings for Danny. And I think that that's going to eventually, in the long run, propel the twins to kind of stop being douchebags, or at least Ethan stop being a douchebag and kind of join up with Scott and his crew. Because, let's be real, Deucalion is going to kill you eventually. So you should probably wise up and turncoat now while you have the opportunity and some people to support you. That is my advice straight to you, Ethan. You're welcome. I just want to take a moment to appreciate Melissa McCall because she was all over the place this episode and she was just turning it out. She was saving people while simultaneously giving advice, giving the sheriff inside tips, making sure Scott and Isaac are in school. She was just super mom to the max this episode, and she needs like a round of applause or a trip to the spa or maybe a get out of death free card, because Lord knows we can't have Melissa dying on us. She was just like A+ today. A+ for you, Melissa. You go, Melissa. Wouldn't common sense suggest that if your car was full of moths and you can no longer see the road, that you would brake? Maybe that's just me that would think stopping the car might be a bit more conducive to the situation rather than keep on driving forward, but you swerved and you swerved. I don't think that was the best idea. Oh, how cute were Scott and Isaac sleeping in Melissa's room to protect her. Another thing that was kind of brought up when I was reading about last night's episode as like a supplement to watching it was that Isaac is now comfortable making mistakes despite his past where like making mistakes would get him locked in the freezer. I think it's cool to show like him progressing from being like victimized to being like a good functioning person without having to be like having to feel crippling anxiety about things like making a mistake. Like I fell asleep on the watch and it's not like, oh my god, Isaac, we're going to punish you severely. Also, I love how Melissa was just like, go to school. Like, even though they're werewolves and, like, trying to protect her and save her life, she's still like, school is important, you need to go learn. Just Melissa's everything today. I got a side eye for your ass, Jennifer. I don't know if Scott is qualified to be finding people. I think he needs to take a step back, get Liam Neeson on the phone, and just have this knocked out. 2 minutes tops. I love that despite Derek trying to like trigger Isaac into an episode a couple episodes back, he was still willing to go and put his life on the line to protect Derek from Miss Toes. And I think that just shows that Isaac is just beyond perfect. Because how many of y'all would sacrifice yourself for somebody who tried to come at you sideways not even 2 weeks ago? I wouldn't. In the abstract, this whole electrifying Miss Toes thing was a good idea, but they weren't thinking deviously enough. Like, these people have been at this whole I'ma rip your throat out game a little bit longer than y'all, so I don't think that it would be that easy to outsmart them Though I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, I couldn't because ultimately it ended up biting you in the ass. But I believed with everything that I had that y'all would shock Miss Toes. I beseech you all to be honest with the sheriff. He is a open and honest seeming guy. He will take it in stride. Melissa took it in stride. Let the sheriff in on the secret. On the other side of that coin, I can see why Styles would not want him in on it because, like he said, he doesn't want to lose both his parents, which is understandable. But I feel like at this point, keeping him in the dark is more dangerous than telling him what's going on. Because at least if you tell him what's going on, he has a chance to better prepare himself for things, choose his battles more intelligently, rather than just, I'm the sheriff, I'm going in. Looks like Scott's an ass man. Fate has smiled on you today, Isaac. Deucalion is literally the embodiment of Rafiki. He is there with useless riddles and random tests that are designed to further his own agenda, and it is the most obnoxious thing in the world. Seriously. Take a seat, Fenris. Nobody is here for your angst today. I do not even want to get into the fact that Boyd had to be the one that died. That really just upsets me because I liked Boyd. If they wanted to kill somebody, they could have killed Cora. She was already dead for however long, and she has brought nothing to the table but an attitude since she's been back. So she is the one that I could have done without. Final thoughts. Chris Argent is very efficient when it comes to tracking things and making plans. They should really include him in more things. I guess tonight's kink was anal. Did anybody else notice how when Danny was talking about his dream, that he was more implying that I dreamt about Styles before, but just not in a capacity that he was looking through my things? Maybe that was just me. Lydia Martin's sass is everything. I love how the sheriff came in and Lone Rangered that rope thing that Deaton was hanging on. He just busted in that vault and was like, I got this on lock, Scott. Boom. Do the Alpha Twins have a last name? Hysteric moment at the very end. It was platonic, I know, but still, it was a hysteric moment. And anybody who tries to think they can say, oh no, you can't ship hysteric, or that wasn't a hysteric thing, swerve. I'm gonna go be Gone with the Wind fabulous. So I'll see you later.